Our paper, as you see, we have a new title, Catch and Release Data in the IBC Ecosystem. If you have a better one, please let us know. We're workshopping the title as well. I want to kind of make one comment by way of preface, which is it seems to me that the importance of data about the IBC and the need for more and better data is a major theme of this conference. And it's a very familiar topic and matter of concern to, I guess, pretty much everyone in the room. And most of us have made pleas for more and better data in various contexts. And so what we're trying to do with this paper is to take kind of a stab at a systematic approach to thinking about this topic or set of concerns as a matter of policy or a set of policy questions, and to in doing so draw upon increasingly rich literature on bankruptcy data, mostly about the U.S. bankruptcy system. Just the main points: policymakers and regulators have a unique opportunity at this early stage to ensure that that the system generates accurate, comprehensive, and useful data. But it requires a very deliberate and careful consideration of what data is useful and important and how it's to be generated internally within the system. And this data will be generated, will be useful to regulators and policymakers, but it should also be available, in our view, to stakeholders and researchers to the greatest extent possible. And just quickly, to give you a sense of where I'll go in the next few minutes. First, to emphasize again the importance of data generated by the system, to describe examples of the types of data that might be gathered from the system, to describe some relevant aspects of the U.S. experience with bankruptcy data, consider sources and methods of catching and releasing, and some comparative institutional advantages among and between actors within the system, and then address some challenges and propose a pilot study for someone to conduct. Just by way of background and motivation, as I guess many or most of you know, the code itself contains a requirement regarding this and requires the board to, I won't read all this, but basically gather and disseminate some data. And this was, I think, the initial motivation for us. But I want to be clear that we don't take a position on what this requires as a formal legal matter of the board. And we'll leave that to others. Our view, we kind of take a maximalist approach to this and assume that whatever that legal requirement is, assuming that there is a formal legal requirement there, that the policymakers will aspire to more than that. So already in terms of what the board at least is doing in furtherance of this obligation, it's made a lot of materials available on the website, especially the orders, and with which or to which or by which Gausia and Bhargavi and Shreyan have done a heroic job to wrench out every bit of possible data from the orders. And then the newsletter includes a good deal of aggregate data. And I'm listing here, but in the interest of time, I won't go through all of the data that's listed on the newsletter. But for those of you who've seen the newsletter, there is some aggregate data and some case-level data on cases that yielded resolution plans. Okay, so just stepping back then and thinking about this again in a somewhat systematic way, there are two broad areas of interest or concern. One would be data about the system, and the other would be data from the system but about the economy and broader society. And I think it's useful to think about these as distinct. So the importance of data about the system is it helps us understand how it operates, what function it serves, what impact it has. which is useful for policymakers to be able to assess things like efficiency and effectiveness and cost of the system and allocate scarce resources, and to help identify needs for substantive changes to the system. As we've been discussing in this conference, there have been